Hello everyone and welcome to a very special recording of our shows coming together. We've been brought by a very special and unexpected announcement from Nintendo. We were ready for Nintendo Switch 2's Direct next week, but lo and behold, Nintendo's like, hang on, Switch 1 is not dead. We have a whole Direct, 30 minutes of good stuff to show you. I'm here with my good friend Drew Agnew to go over everything that was announced. Drew, how you going, mate?
Very good. You know, any day that we've had a Nintendo Direct is a good day. So I'm happy to have a extra sit down with you, Josh. Goodness gracious. I think that's the best thing about it. Otherwise, we're not allowed to talk. We can't have a quick little phone call. We can't have a text message here and there. We've either got to have a Nintendo topic to talk about, or we can't communicate. So I'm glad we have the opportunity.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Drew and I actually hate each other, and we just do this professionally just to maintain.
That's right. We do it for the clout.
Correct. Were you expecting anything like this? I would have thought the window for this Direct was February. That went and gone. We had heard nothing from Nintendo. We're all thinking Nintendo Switch 1 would still have things to announce and talk about. But for some reason, they've decided to do it 5-6 days before the Switch 2 Direct. How do you find the timing of all this?
Yeah, really strange. We're talking about it on the House of Mario, and I haven't been on socials, so I hadn't seen the rumors. And you're like, oh, apparently there's rumors that there's a Direct this week. And straight away, I'm like, why the hell would they announce it months ahead for Switch 2 Direct, build up the hype, the anticipation, then a week before just be like, hey, look, we got another one. It sounded silly. Then I actually went onto Twitter and I saw that the people that were saying that was Nate the Hate. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. So, yeah, it probably will be happening. And lo and behold, he's definitely got some roots in Nintendo HQ because that's exactly what happened. But I don't know. I would have saved some of this, but they've obviously got some contracts signed with some third parties, and they've got a couple of games themselves where it doesn't quite make as much sense to announce them or show them off with hopefully the really exciting big stuff we'll be getting next week. So yeah, you can see sort of like the stuff they cut off or sort of removed, and stuff that's obviously more focused on Switch 1 was just put here, and it showed.
Yeah, it's a very much a Direct that sets things up for next week with the Switch 2 Direct. And also, I think we're discussing in our Discords this morning. I think it just sort of signals in a little way that the Switch 1 is not dead. There's stuff coming next year.
Oh no, definitely
not just this year. Whether that, I don't know, that was. I understand the intention, but announcing certain games, we'll get into these announcements, but announcing them potentially a year ahead of, what usually typically happens with Nintendo Directs, where it's a 3 to 6 months window, really keeps it like, it's not too far away, pretty like close by. I find really interesting. So, and then there's some other themes here, like, there was no Western developers, publishers here at all. It's all, these Japanese companies are still supporting the Switch in some capacity. Anything Western's just moved ship, I imagine, to Switch 2, and we'll probably see their stuff next week. But
fingers crossed. That's the hope, isn't it?
I mean, you'd like to think that they're at least on board for Switch 2. But the Switch 1, even with its massive install base, they've looked to the next stage and something a bit more powerful from the looks of it. But we got a bit of an opening with Dragon Age 1 and 2, this HD 2D remake coming. An interesting way to start it because we've had a lot about the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake last year. These ones are coming later this year. We didn't get a Nintendo opening for the Direct here. And I think kind of set the tone that, Nintendo doesn't probably have a lot to say right now. They've got a few things. But gaming-wise, it was nothing urgent or immediate. What were some of your highlights from the actual announcement?
For Dragon Quest 1 and 2, I think it was great that we saw it, like, but just that having no release date, I'm like, oh, well, what did you just show us? Like,
Yeah,
and that was the thing with like a few of these games that popped up that we've seen before, and some of the third party stuff as well. It's like, okay, so no release date. It kind of beats a little bit of the purpose of maybe the whole event, where there are some games that we've seen a few times already or we've heard about, and just not having that release date was a little bit frustrating. Like fair enough, maybe for the bigger stuff, like Metroid and whatever, but there were some other games as well where I'm like, why, why do I even watch this? So that's how I felt about Dragon Quest One and Two. It's just I'm looking forward to probably picking that game up. I like to support the HD 2D games that Square Enix make as much as I can. Like I love that art style, and I want them to make as many games of theirs as possible in that art style, and even maybe inspire like Nintendo to like go back and make some of their stuff in it too. Because you can imagine like A Link to the Past or any of the like these SNES games, Pokemon. It would be phenomenal. It would be a dream come true. So I'm always looking, to vote with my wallet when it comes to this type of stuff. But
yeah.
yeah,
Don't know if I was misreading, but I think Nintendo filed a patent the other week or day for like this style of gameplay graphical output. So
yeah, there
you
was.
you might actually get what you wish for there, which would be very interesting.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of what the Mario games look like in Mario Maker 1 and 2, where they've got like a little bit of a shadow behind them.
Yeah,
That's what it sort of reminded me of. But
pops
yeah,
out a little.
I hope Nintendo's sort of thinking about it, because it's easy-ish money, because they can really sort of play on people's nostalgia, and it's not a massive like development lift compared to obviously making a brand new game or like more of a 3D game. The Square Enix games, they are in like Unreal Engine, so they're not necessarily just like a game and you click the 3D sort of shadow option and it becomes out. It's like a full on 3D remake of the game. It's not as probably easy as I'm putting it, but as far as like a big company like Nintendo, Square Enix, and all that, it's not the biggest thing. It's not like remaking, yeah, like I said, like a 3D Final Fantasy or something. So
No.
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what goes on there. The third party stuff, a lot of like interesting, varied games here. I wouldn't call it any big titles or anything like that outside of the Dragon Quest. It was good to see, obviously, Square and Atlas, and even Pac-Man making an appearance in what was a really dark and mysterious Metroidvania-looking like game. I'm still not sure what to sort of make of that one with Bandai, but Bandai was another one that really was able to show their output here with the Shadow Labyrinth game and then the Patapon 1 and 2 remasters. So
yeah, that's crazy. That I reckon Everybody's Golf and Patapon 1 and 2 are like the most surprising things for me from this. It's like, PlayStation is starting to put old games on Switch via Bandai Namco, because earlier this year, Bandai Namco, they did Freedom Wars, which was like a PlayStation Vita exclusive. It's like a Monster Hunter like, where you've got to basically go out and hunt and do like, you got the sort of same loop you do in Monster Hunter, but you're basically trying to get down your prison age. So you've got like a big prison age and you've got to sort of work that down. And the team behind that managed to get the rights to publish it with Bandai Namco. I think it's Dimps. Dimps are the team behind that one. So it's interesting to see this relationship go a little bit further with Patapon 1 and 2, which was a Japan Studios game. And same with Everybody's Golf actually as well. Because at the bottom it has like all the trademarks, Sony Entertainment, all of that, but they are not the ones publishing it, which is interesting. Because like with Lego Horizon, they were the ones to publish it on Switch via like their PC and other platforms sort of publishing agency. So when Patapon popped up, I was like, what? It's really cool. Like this like cult classic PSP series coming to Nintendo, and maybe we can expect more. We can expect like Loco Roco and I don't know if we'll even get to the point where stuff like Sly Cooper and maybe a bit more recognizable franchises that don't no
Mm.
longer have relevance on PlayStation as far as selling consoles. Even to the point where like will we build up to like Uncharted like trilogy on the lead up to like another Uncharted game or something like that. I think it's really sort of interesting to see PlayStation sort of experiment with it, but they obviously don't have both feet in because yeah, they're getting somebody else to do all the publishing work.
Yeah,
Um,
and I mean, it's just going to gather dust effectively if they don't do anything with it. And I think these look like amazing Switch titles, really. Um,
Definitely, yeah.
that Patapon, like, really, I didn't know a lot about it, but that really intrigued me. That trailer, just like the rhythm game, but with the army and the different ways you can command um, the classes of the Patapon and how they interact with each other. It wasn't a farming sim direct. This was a rhythm type of game direct.
Well, I'm all about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so we had the rift of the Necrodancer as well, didn't we? Are you going to be picking that one up as well?
Uh, yeah, I played the demo on Switch. Sorry, on Steam for Rift of the Necrodancer. I was actually kind of surprised it wasn't on Switch. I thought it was already out. To be honest with you, I'm like, I did a video on my channel where I recorded myself and I was just saying like, "Isn't this out?" Then it says out later today. I'm like, "Oh, obviously it wasn't."
Yeah,
I thought it came out at the same time because like this game was like announced and heavily showcased on Nintendo Directs in the past. So yeah, I didn't really think that it had an early release on PC, but yeah, it's cool that it's on Switch now. Yeah, I it's been in my wish list on Steam for a little bit. I just yeah hadn't got around to it, but it's pretty fun. It's basically it's less like an action adventure game like the previous one where you're going through dungeons and things. It's more like a traditional rhythm game where it's like Guitar Hero. You pick from a song list and there's like a fretboard where these enemies are coming down, and the enemies do different things depending on what they are. So some enemies you got to like hit the button twice, other ones like move once you hit them the first time. So it's all about like predicting and knowing what each enemy does as it comes down. So really sort of interesting take on a rhythm game. So
yeah,
yeah,
nice.
I would like the. It's in the wish list, honestly, probably for a sale, and that's purely just my backlog. Like I don't particularly need it right now, but it's cool. I'm looking forward to doing it because I love rhythm games. So like you said, this was a good direct for me where it's like, oh, I'll get that, I'll get that, and I'll get that.
Yeah. And then probably the main one that you might be interested in, this brand new Rhythm Heaven game, Rhythm Heaven Groove, announced for 2026, so next year sometime, even though we've still got 9 months left in 2025. So this is a return like to, the Rhythm series that Nintendo's done for a while now, and there hasn't been a game on it since the 3DS days, I believe. It's probably 2016, would have thought 2015, so it's been quite a while between drinks for this series. I think these are the perfect kind of late in a generation games to have on the Switch. I bought the DS version a few months ago at I think it might have been Toy Fair, or I bought it online on eBay, and really got into that. And I get the appeal
Nice.
of it. It's a little funky and different and weird. It's got those
Yeah.
WarioWare aspects to it, and it's the same developers as well. So I'm just baffled. It is something that is announced so far in the future. They don't usually tend to give those announcements a huge sort of runway for the smaller games. Probably more reserved for a Breath of the Wild, Zelda-like game, something a bit bigger. But yeah, I'm just surprised they've announced this and it's not coming like in July or August this year or something. Obviously, we don't know the gaps with Switch 2 coming up, but a long time coming. We're going to have to wait for this one.
Yeah, it's obvious that they're just using this game and another game we'll talk about just to put the message across like, hey, Switch software, if you don't have the money, you don't have the desire to buy a Switch 2, you're okay. We got stuff for
Yeah.
another 12 months. Like, you're good. But for somebody that's like, oh, look, Rhythm Heaven's back, then it's like, at least another probably 10 months. Okay. Like, this
Yeah.
is a weird game to have that much of a lead because, yeah, there's a lot of like smaller games that even like cult classics that return and come back onto a Nintendo platform. And it has like a 3 month sort of lead up, and you sort of forget about it a little bit. Then you remember it again. It's only like 2 weeks away, and it sort of works. But yeah, just we'll be like in September, being like, oh yeah, we'll see some more information on it. Like I don't know, it would be we have like a interesting marketing cycle to say the least. But yeah, like it was just used just to put the message forward that look, you're good if you're not getting a Switch 2. You've got Rhythm Heaven to look forward to. You can sit there and twiddle your thumbs for 10 months or 12 months. So don't worry, you can press your button in time to make those frowny little boys jump through the hoop. You got content to play, god damn it. You're gonna have a lot of fun. I like Rhythm Heaven. I've always been a WarioWare person when it comes to like that particular team. Because they seem to like go between WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven for the most part. So yeah, I never really got into one. I bought the DS one and the 3DS version as well. And I played them. I had fun, but it isn't something that I've like really developed the love for. But maybe this is the one. I love the quirkiness. I was actually because since the direct is so late for us, it's 12:30 in South Australia. So I was thinking of like a way I can do like a reaction video to the Nintendo Direct, but I can't be too loud. Like I'm never going to be one of the people who's like, "Oh my god, it's Metroid Prime! Look, it looks awesome!" Like I'm never going to be able to do that. So I thought I would do like a do not smile challenge to the Nintendo Direct, because if anything's going to make me smile in life, it's one, it's my family. Two, it's brand new exciting Nintendo games that are going to make me smile. So I did a do not smile challenge, and I got to say, when it come to the Rhythm Heaven and like the beeps and the bops and the sounds and all that, and like just seeing the cute little silly looking characters, I'm like, oh, this is hard. It's hard not to smile to this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But
yeah, that's funny. It's so true. We're always going to be given the bad hand of these late overnight directs. Sometimes maybe an early 6:30 a.m. in the morning one, you might be able to get the kids up and awake.
Oh look, I don't mind though, because then the kids are in bed. I'm not at work. All of these things, it's fun. At night time, it's great because I don't have to make any other plans. No babysitters, no day off work, none of this. It works for me. It just means I can't be loud. I can't like they can't announce Super Smash Brothers because I'm going to be in trouble.
Yes. Speaking of Smash Brothers, Sakurai retweeted the announcement of this direct, and seemingly everyone got very excited from that, possibly sort of insinuating that something he's working on would be shown. That did not end up to be the case. We didn't get anything Smash Bros related, or a new Kid Icarus Uprising, or even a Kirby game.
That's true, yeah. Planet Robobot. Yeah, that was a heavily rumoured thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I was expecting a Kirby, didn't get a Kirby. Obviously, we got our Metroid update, and then I just put Rhythm Heaven out in the sphere. I tweeted that, and we managed to get one of those, which was great. But yes, just goes to show they can retweet these things and not necessarily have anything to do with it. Also, just trying to get the word out. But I suppose for me, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, I definitely expected to see this at this direct. I expected a date. We didn't get the dates, but we got the more breaking down, in-depth video of the game, what to experience, also what to expect from this game. And we got shown the planet Viros, which is where Samus is going to get her new psychic abilities, which looked really cool. These are mysterious and ancient powers that allow her to control the trajectory of her beams, operate mechanisms, and open doors. And so we're going to have to go through that game and work out why she's been given these powers. It looks very much like this is the next game in the series. Like there's might have been a 15, 16-year gap or more, between these series, but it feels very true to that Prime trilogy formula, which I think is really exciting because a lot of people love that series, like, and how the gameplay works, and it seems like they're not really messing up too much or making it really different from previous entries. The visuals look phenomenal in this game, Drew. Like, this is if this is a Switch 1 game, I can't wait to see if there is a Switch 2 version of this and how much better that looks. Yeah, so I love this trailer. I just wish there was a release date. I'm hoping that it might be because they've got something next week with this Switch 2 Direct to announce as part of it.
Yeah, like this game on Switch 2, you can only imagine just turning up that graphics that graphic setting would be really impressive because the way the game looks, just the art style and the design of the planet, the enemies, it looks great. It's like it looks familiar, what you expect from Metroid Prime, but different as you expect going to a new location. Them showing the new suit, like the red suit at the end, I'm like, "Ooh, that's sick." That looks great.
Unreal.
One thing I was laughing at though, like while the direct is going, it's just like scan, just like I forgot what it said, but it's just like scan things to progress. I'm like,
yes,
that sounds thrilling. And then it was
I
like
had the same thought at that stage. Like, oh, you really solved how you progress and understand the story.
And then it was like, oh, you get new psychic abilities and you can open doors. I'm like, wow, crazy. You get these mad powers and you can open doors. Because we know what Metroid Prime is. Obviously, it's a great game, like especially the first one. And that is what you do. You're scanning, you're like filling in like lore, and you're working out what happened on this planet before you arrived, and you're trying to escape in one piece. And that's what Metroid's all about. But when you sort of put it into when you describe it like that, it's just like, yeah. I mean, you're looking around and you're doing puzzles to open the door, and then you go through, and then you can. It's like, oh well.
They didn't necessarily add a level of sugar on top to sort of really try and sell what the actual gameplay is, but that is what it is, isn't it? It's a lot of scanning, and if that's not your thing, you're probably not going to like these games.
Yeah,
I didn't hear any sort of voice acting or anything when the scanning occurred, which might have been a cool thing to include. Maybe that's something they announced later, but
that'd be great. Yeah, sort of do like voice over it. So you scan something and it says it to you. Yeah, that'd be great.
I think just to sort of for people who really don't like the reading so much, that you could just listen to it a bit more, not necessarily keep
I think it would improve. It would improve the game so much, like similar to what you do, like even in like BioShock.
It's BioShock,
where like you scan it and then you continue playing and
keep playing.
Because for me, like what I really hate, like I like all the world building, but it's the same in like a lot of games, whether it's like the Tomb Raider games where you find a treasure or whatever. Like so many games do it, where you're in a gunfight, you're shooting out, and if it's like, oh, there's a collectible. Of course, I'll get the collectible because I want to try and get all the collectibles. That's what I do as a gamer. I'm a completionist, goddammit.
100%.
So you go and get it, then it's got like fucking 6 paragraphs. Like you're either going to read it and completely rip yourself out of the experience, or you're going to just put the B button and just keep going with what you're doing, and it just makes it so much better. Where it's like, all right, I'll scan it. Then you're listening to it. Then you go through the door and you're progressing and you're taking down enemies, but you're still like getting it done. I think that would have been a big step forward. That just from like a simple change in game design would be really useful. But they go the traditional.
Way. Yeah. But it doesn't look like it's coming. We might not know for sure, but it doesn't seem like it. That's the case. Still reconfirmed 2025. So it has been delayed at least, even though it's been 9 months since we've last heard about anything to do with this game. But good to see it's still happening this year, at least. That's my silver lining to it all.
Yeah.
Any other third-party games, Drew, that interested you?
A couple. It's called that Monument Valley 1, 2, and 3 are coming to Switch. I don't know if like Monument Valley is like a 3 is already on iOS and that. I'm not sure, but I really enjoyed the first one and the second one on iPad 10 years ago, whenever it came out. It was great. Yeah. Marvel Cosmic Invasion by Dotemu.
Yes.
The publishers that put out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
New beat 'em up.
Yeah, I absolutely love their pixel art style, and having it with the Marvel characters in it looks really good. They're a lot of fun, so I'll like to check that out when it comes out in summer. I really don't like how they sort of put it in the seasons. It's like I'm not all that sure. So
We're
always
reading
you
the
always got to do
Nintendo.
the quick math
Yeah,
when
we're
you're
doing the
watching
Nintendo
an
Australia
American
one,
one.
aren't we? So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. So this is the Australian one we're
yes, this
reading.
is
So
summer for
yeah,
us. So December this year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyone who's in America or another part of the world, like they've also got to do the math to revert it back
Uh,
to what they originally heard too. You know?
yeah. So winter for them, but the end of this year, if that's correct from what we're reading here. So um, yeah, I love a good beat 'em up. That looks really fun and cool, and yeah, like the TMNT. Um, you know, it's always just a fun time just to pick up something like that and go along with it.
Yeah. But apart from that, like honestly, I think that's the only. Actually, the Eternal Life of Goldman that looked cool, like a hand drawn platformer. I like the look of that. That looks quite good.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, like I don't know much about it apart from it's like, oh, can you solve the mystery? I'm like, yeah, I probably can if I
Probably
stick
can.
with the game. I dare say I will.
Yeah.
I dare say I'm capable. Unless you made it too hard, like
Played a lot of video games. Probably can.
I probably could. I reckon I could do that if I put down the 40 or $50 or whatever you're asking and played the game. I reckon I could.
Going to do
That's
it.
a
Yeah.
challenge. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff is it's kind of cool. Like a Gradius Origins, like a collection of Gradius games. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. They're funky.
Yeah. Event like High on Life, that's coming to Switch as well. It says the 6th of May. I really enjoyed High on Life when it came out on Xbox Game Pass like a fair few years ago at this point. Very funny first person shooter from the Rick and Morty creator. It's very much
Okay.
that sense of humor.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
and yeah, and what's cool about it is like your weapons have all got faces and they all talk back and forward to you. And like when you're holding it in first person, its face is like on the butt of the gun, so you're always looking at this gun, whatever gun, just straight in the eyes.
Okay.
So they're always talking to you and making quips and
funny.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of people sort of hated that they're always talking to you, but I like games where like you've always got a character that's always having back and forward with you. I quite like it. So if you don't have any other platforms, check out High on Life. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty cool. What about you? Any third party games that floated your boat?
I think the biggest one for me was the Shadow Labyrinth because it just looked like, okay, like straight away I'm like, okay, I think it's Pac-Man, and all right, so this is looking pretty different. Obviously not a Pac-Man game, but playing off, the the little aspects of how Pac-Man works. Going along ledges and eating things, and so. Is it a Metroidvania? It looks like it kind of is.
Yeah, it
in a
is.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I just love that they've taken a weird twist to the Pac-Man series and created this game. It looks really great. So July, I think that comes out, and so I might be checking that one out and just see what Bandai can do when it comes to the Metroidvania sort of series. So I think that was the main one for me. Outside of that. Yeah, I don't think there was really too much else except Patapon 1 and 2. I think they're the main ones for me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the PlayStation games, that's very interesting. I'll play them still on PlayStation, especially Patapon because they're a part of the subscription I'm paying over on PlayStation
Yeah,
Plus.
if you got them already, then yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
right there.
I'll play them there. But it's awesome that they're there. Actually, Sega Frontier 2, like I'll add it to like the 200th position of like Japanese RPGs I want to play. But it's cool that it's remastered. So I was happy to say that came out today, so that's out right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there was nothing that's really like just made me pop off. Because a lot of these times when people sort of are down on a Nintendo Direct, I'm usually pretty high because it's just full of like JRPGs and a couple of Nintendo games and all that. I'm like, fantastic. That's kind of what I want from Switch, especially at this point. So I'm usually pretty happy. But honestly, this one I was like, all right. So there was like obviously Pokemon, Metroid, and a couple of like surprises like Rhythm Heaven and Tamagotchi Life. Yeah, the Marvel game. So there's a lot there, but yeah, there was nothing that tipped me over It made me
Yeah.
ooze out all over the table, you know?
No, no, I think that's a fair assessment. What did you think of the Legend ZA trailer? We kind of got a little bit more information about at night time you're going to be versing the highly skilled trainers, and it's a Z to A Royal tournament. So you start from rank Z and you go all the way to rank A. So that kind of explains the title there. You're trying to be number one or the best ranked trainer getting to A. I think, yeah, it showed us a few extra things. We didn't get any extra information on the release date. That is still late 2025, but I'm quietly looking forward to this one. I think this, I love the series, and I think they've taken a really interesting turn, and the more in-timed battles with the Pokemon, that's going to be a really fun way to experience a Pokemon game.
Yeah, when they showed like the shift to nighttime and the trainers come out, and in fact there's like a ranking system to it. It seems like a fun grind to just go like once nighttime hits,
Yeah.
like, all right, let's go and beat up some trainers, and assume with sort of that ranking system as you're going up, the trainers get harder and harder as well.
Yeah,
just
probably
within the
scales or
city.
something.
So yeah, so that sounds great to me. I think it was all good news when it come to like just this. One of the cool things is just like listening to the music from the game in the background. There's like a Pokemon X and Y has really great music, including a really great battle theme for the wild and trainer battles. And they had like a remix of the trainer battle in the background, but it was like a lo-fi, like relaxed version. And it's just like,
Okay.
it seems like it's just meant for the background. I'm like, dude, like that is sick. Like that's like one of the main things I noticed from the trailer. I'm like,
Oh, nice.
dude, like that sounds good. Like, so it made me sort of like, I'm looking forward to getting more X and Y sort of reimagination of the soundtrack
Yeah.
because yeah, that battle theme dude from X and Y, like that is something that will get you pumped up for a run. Like if they ever add X and Y to Nintendo music,
Yeah.
yeah, like chuck it in that playlist, dude. It's great.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I
hope
do find
to
a lot
get
of
more
the
of that.
Pokemon music very uplifting for runs. So that is a good call out. And like we've just been so deprived of anything X and Y ever since it came out. We never got that third version of the game.
No.
Obviously, when they're remaking the mainline series, they've done the first four. So X and Y's probably got a couple away if they're going to stick to that order. And so I played this game once, X and Y, and that's been it. So this is going to be really cool for me to sort of revisit it and try and unlock some memories that have been probably locked in my 3DS for 12 years or so now. So yeah, that's going to be really great to see. And so who's your starter going to be? Because I think for my very first time, I'm going to actually pick Chikorita and make it happen.
Yeah, nice. I mean, out of these three, I'll go Totodile. Chikorita was always my favorite Johto Pokemon, but honestly,
Oh, really? Yeah. Nice.
Especially like as a kid, Chikorita was, but the game's kind of beat it out of me because whenever I picked it, it was always so bad.
So
like,
weak. Yeah, it's just that grass.
So like once it's Meganium, like just has an awful move pool, awful stats, and it's fucking useless. It was like the worst thing on my team, and usually the starter's meant to have like a bit of a buff compared to everything else, a little bit
Correct.
stronger.
Yeah.
So yeah, in my later years, unless I want to do a hard run or just be neglectful to my mental health, I won't choose Chikorita anymore.
No.
And I don't like Tepig. I don't like Emboar.
Yeah,
and
I'm
I
the
love
same.
Totodile. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I always chose Totodile. I was always Totodile. So I'm like, I'm going to choose something different. So
Yeah.
that's bringing on Chikorita.
I don't like my OCD or whatever does not like that there's Chikorita, Totodile, and they just Tepig. I want like one from each region. I was thinking about like the way I feel. Like it seems kind of like a silly complaint, like a very small complaint. But the way I think I want to put it forward just to people is like I just find it unsatisfying to look at. Like it's very
I feel the same.
unsatisfying.
They could have
Like,
done
just
three different regions and then done two from Johto. I just, I find that really interesting.
Like if you had Totodile, Tepig, and Trico or something. Like how much?
Yeah.
It just I don't know. So that just tickles me much more than what we got. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder why they did go that route because that was one of the coolest things when we first learnt in the first Legends game where we're getting starter Pokemon from different regions, and the sort of reasoning behind it was that the professor traveled the world and brought them back to the what would be the Sinnoh region. So yeah, it's just what's the thought here that somebody's that your mum, like you've moved from the Johto region and like you already have them. Like I wonder what the reasoning is. It just sort of seems like they wanted the Johto starters, but we had Cyndaquil last game, so that look, we'll just swap it out with the pig instead.
Yeah. I really don't understand it because what was the one in the first game? Because it was it's Cyndaquil or the other two.
Yeah, Cyndaquil, Oshawott, and Rowlet.
Yep, and I did Rowlet. So, which is a great mix of Pokemon there. I really appreciate how different.
Yeah, it's wicked. Yeah,
was
like those were all like the best of their region. In my opinion, they're the ones I'd probably choose if I went to each region.
Yeah. And so we've had no representation from Hoenn, and Gen 4 as well, haven't we? Sinnoh. And then
Yeah. Well, Legends Arceus was Gen 4. Oh, you're talking about the starters here.
The starters, though, yeah.
Yeah, no, not yet.
Not yet.
They'll be saved for the next 15 Legends games we'll get over the next.
Don't worry, they'll come. Don't
5
worry.
years.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So this is cool to see because also we had Pokemon Day late Feb, so a bit over a month ago, and we got a bit more of a breakdown in that, and so we've got even more here. So no doubt we'll get more sputtering of information over the next few months before that comes out in probably November, typically with a Pokemon game. Drew, have you downloaded your Nintendo Today app? Are you reading all the Nintendo news daily now, ready to go?
I haven't yet, no. I will, though, especially next week when they're dropping Switch 2 tidbits every day.
Yes.
So I guess I will. I'm a little bit just like, cross the mighty, just can you make an app just with all of it in there? Like I want a Nintendo app that takes me to the eShop. I can look at my profile and I can get news from. Why do I need a fucking app for every little tidbit? It's very frustrating.
They've got a lot of apps now. We've had to download Nintendo Music about 6 months ago. Obviously all the different mobile games, and now we've got.
Can it all be in one?
Nintendo Today.
Seriously, Nintendo, put it all in one.
Maybe one day, but yeah, this is a brand new app that will deliver content to your smart devices. We had Shigeru Miyamoto during the Direct greet us, thank us for watching, which is always nice when they do that. I always feel really warm and fuzzy when they thank us for watching. But he spruced up this new app, which is a bit of like a daily calendar kind of deal, delivers a variety of content. I've had a look today, and it had I could watch trailers from the Nintendo Direct that we just saw. So I rewatched Metroid Prime 4's trailer through the Nintendo Today app. You got to link it to your Nintendo account, and you're able to tailor the types of games that you're really into, and it will tailor the look and feel of it depending on what you want. I chose a Pikmin theme, and I don't know if you can see that, Drew. I've got one of the Ice Pikmin next to the 28th of March, and then there's some items showing the new Super Mario Bros. Alamo sound, as well as the Nintendo Direct. So,
crazy.
Yeah, there's a few different things in here. Another thing for them to update, you can set up a widget within your phone as well, and that will have a themed kind of calendar, depending on the game that you want. And so,
that was my thoughts. Just what we need, a calendar app for our phone.
Yeah.
Just thanks.
Yep. So more evidence of Nintendo trying to infiltrate everything you do. And I, for one, welcome our Lord and Savior Nintendo, giving me more Nintendo content. So
yeah,
thank you very much.
I just want a Nintendo app on my phone where I can buy games from the eShop that doesn't load and chug and bloody spit and spatter. I can browse the eShop. I can click over to my profile and like see my friends and send messages and all that. And then I can look at the latest news and look at my Pikmin widget and all that shit as well. Because like Xbox did the exact same thing where they had an app for like every single aspect of whatever the hell you do over there. They had one for the shop. They had one for Game Pass. They had one for making an avatar. They had like, oh my god. But the PlayStation, like the PlayStation and Steam apps for your phone are fantastic. It's all in one, so you can on PlayStation check your trophies, buy things from the store. You can check your friends lists, the news. It's all in one. Same with Steam across like your device. It's like it's kind of similar to the Steam app on PC without actually being obviously able to play games, where you can like you can check the forums, your library, message friends. You can do all that from one app. So yeah, those two platforms seem to have it nailed down a lot more than what Xbox and obviously Nintendo are doing. And on it makes a big difference. Honestly, it sounds silly that it's just like, oh, it's just an app. But honestly, like it's how I interface with their stores, and that's ultimately how I spend money on their platforms. Because like if I get a link to a Steam link, it just like automatically goes to the Steam and it's in my profile, and I just add it to my wish list or I buy it. But like that option on Switch just isn't there. Like you've got to like go to your Switch and get it to work. And I went and downloaded Xenoblade Chronicles X last week, and I hadn't been on the eShop for a long time. And I'm like, it's gotten worse, dude. It's got like it's
so slow.
awful.
Yeah, it's
like it's
yeah.
Yeah.
I just stick to. I got a wish list now, and then every now and then I will check the wish list to see if there's anything on sale. I don't like to scroll through the deals anymore because it just takes too long. It's just so slow and cumbersome.
Yeah, so this is like it's a throwaway announcement. I guess a lot of people say, "Oh, yeah, cool." Like I don't need to know the news. I'll go on Twitter and whatever. But for me, it's like, no, don't just do this as an app. You need to put it all together. Even if they put like Nintendo Music within the app as well, like that makes a little bit more sense to be separate. But they definitely need to up their app game. I don't know if they will when it comes to Switch 2. I kind of assumed that might be part of the process, but it doesn't seem to be. So
yeah, it might be an iterative thing that they sort of do add more features to, and you can do those types of things. But I think the obvious thing is, they want people to download this app, and then at a moment's notice, Nintendo can send you a notification about anything they want, and get you to remind you that this game's out or there's a sale on right now. I'm interested to see how they use this and how they will notify users, how often, how minor of a thing. Nintendo Music, are we going to get updates when Super Mario Bros. 2 gets added to the music list there, or I don't know like what exactly their intentions are with that, but it'll be interesting to see. They're really pushing to see getting Nintendo everywhere and all at once on your phone and feed. But yeah, I agree. I would love to see a way to you could browse the Nintendo eShop on your phone, purchase it via your phone, and if it was able to download straight away via a Switch, your Switch at home connected to the internet, that'd be great to see. Although it's not a huge issue at the moment with download times at the moment, but it might be something for the Switch too, just to speed things up. So, it wasn't on my bingo card, let's just say, having a news app from Nintendo, but here they are doing it, and I shouldn't really be surprised, should I?
Someone at the end just goes, bingo! When that comes up, like, oh, how the hell did you even think about putting that? It's such a bland, boring prediction out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. What I found a lot more interesting, though, was this virtual game card system.
Yes.
And, I think this is very much, there's a Nintendo Switch 2 coming. And people are going to be buying their second device, at least. I know I will be. And so this will be a way to get those games easily across from one system to the other. But this is a new feature for easily managing your purchased digital games. You can play games on 2 different consoles and even lend or borrow games. And so it's a similar concept. They explained how physical game carts work. It reminded me of the PlayStation presentation after the Xbox One. This is how you can move games from one console to the other. But yeah, they've done it in the virtual game card sense here. So it means, if someone was on my Nintendo family account, I could, use a virtual game card. I might, for example, buy the new Rhythm Heaven game Groove. I'm done. I played it. I can then lend it to someone for 2 weeks if they're on my same account. They'll be able to play the game for those 2 weeks before it goes back to me. And obviously great with the Switch 2 coming out. This will be very handy for that. Obviously very handy if you've got a lot of people in your family group. And also might be a way to, you might want a game but not straight away, and maybe your partner's bought it and you're willing to wait. This means that you can just literally, you don't have to buy a physical game now. You could continue buying digital games and lend it that way to get that experience of multiple people playing it on multiple systems. And so a cool announcement. I don't think it's going to set the world on fire, but I think it's a great non-Nintendo thing. I think they've stepped in a direction in which I think is really pro-consumer a bit more, and it's always been a thing with Nintendo. How many times have people bought Super Mario Bros. On each new system when it's come out iteratively until now when I'm renting it with the Nintendo Switch Online. So a cool move in the right direction, which I think is very consumer friendly and helps with this transition to the Switch 2.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very actually forward thinking idea. Like other platforms have implemented like similar sort of ideas. Like with Steam, you can family share your library, which is really good. So if you can get on like a family with somebody that buys a lot of games, you can just download and play them when they're not playing them, which is great. But on PlayStation and Xbox, when you're trying to like share digital games with maybe a friend who lives nowhere near you or another family member who lives in the same house, you got to sort of finagle it a little bit. You've got to like have a primary console, and then the non-primary can sort of play the content when you're connected online. And it's a little bit tricky, but I feel like Nintendo's sort of addressing a problem that a lot of their consumers will have because they are families. They've got multiple systems, and a lot of those 50 million consoles that they have sold is because of just families having one each. So they've got to make sure that continues. That was switched to that Jimmy, Fred, Tim, and Martha all get one in the same household. And to sort of alleviate the concerns you would have if you're downloading games is to set up a platform like this, which is great because they want you to download games online. They get 100% of the revenue from doing that instead of sharing it with brick and mortar stores. So they're going to want to encourage you as much as possible just to download from their eShop. So it's really cool that they're sort of set up this idea because for me on Switch, sharing games has not been an issue. It's just been me downloading games and playing them. But thinking forward for the next 8 years that Switch 2 will be out, I'm like, well, if my son and daughter get into gaming and I want to share a game with them, I don't want a 5-year-old diddling around on my account. You know what I mean? I don't want them like getting into save files and like saving over stuff in all that stuff. Like I don't want that touched. When it comes to like, if they want to play Mario or something, I don't want them touching my profile, erasing my data. So I think something like this is just, especially for parents, I think is a great thing because I can just be like, all right, I'm going to share it with my son. Here you go, mate. Here's the copy, especially when I'm done with it, of course. You can play it. And it seems like you can share games with one other, I guess, user who isn't on your family plan. And then on your family plan, you can just swap between all 8 of you, which is really good. So, yeah, it'd be good. A lot of people have sort of joined up so they can just save a bit of cash on Nintendo Switch Online, which is a good idea.
Yeah.
And now you're going to be able to swap games as well. I'm not sure on the Switch Online memberships whether you still have to be in person because between the two, you had to be in the same, like connect to each other with the Switches locally. I'm not sure whether you have to be still locally with a Nintendo Switch Online membership. I missed that part. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I think it was something about you had to load the game wirelessly first, locally, and then after that, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So they've got to be in the same. I think they've got to be in the same household at first, and then after that, they can load games to each other.
Yeah.
ongoing,
Which, yeah,
maybe.
which kind of sucks because obviously I'd like to willy nilly just like swap games with you and anyone and everyone just
Yeah,
around who wants to use it. But also playing off the idea that this is a fake game card where it's like I couldn't hand it to you right now over the internet.
no.
So it makes sense if you use that logic, I guess. But
Yeah, and I
yeah,
think they're trying to stick to it. It is a family account, and so theoretically everyone should be in the same roof, under the same
yeah.
roof, or very close to each other. But I don't know if you know about this, Drew, but there's the biggest thing for me is with this virtual game card is what's been shown on a website that Nintendo, a Nintendo web page after this actual presentation. So I'm going to share my screen here, and this is just a very generic. This is explaining virtual game cards. This is the Nintendo website. Talked a little bit about what we've gone over. But if you search for edition at the bottom here, there's some fine print, which is fascinating. And so it says here, compatible systems must be linked to a Nintendo account to use virtual game cards. Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games and Nintendo Switch 2 edition games can only be loaded on a Nintendo Switch 2 system. So to me, that reads like there are Nintendo Switch 2 edition games of Switch 1 games that will be coming in the future. And so
Definitely sounds like it.
definitely sounds like maybe
Yeah.
next week we're going to get a Metroid Prime 4 Switch 2 edition game, or a Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition game. It looks to me like that pretty well confirms that there will be differences in certain games that Nintendo want and bring a Switch 2 edition, whether it's graphical or anything they want, new content, anything like that.
Just take me back to Tears of the Kingdom, dude. I'll just go back to that and play that if you
I'll
give
play
me.
that again with new DLC. 100%.
I'm just thinking it looking beautiful and running at 60. That's all I'm thinking. But content, Josh, Jesus Christ.
Hey,
I'm welling up a little bit thinking about that. I don't want to go.
so I think that effectively confirms it. It's an official webpage from Nintendo. So
That's
I'm
exciting.
hoping for Metroid Prime 4 next week. Switch 2 edition, better visuals, better frames, and we'll get a date for it next week, maybe.
There's actually no way we're not getting a Switch 2 edition of Metroid Prime 4. Like, that is a missed opportunity. You've got Retro Studios who's just every game has been a technical marvel, like no matter what platform they've released on. And you've got a game that looks really good on Switch.
So how good is it going to look on 2? Like, they could really, a great way to, like, sort of first off show the reason to upgrade, I think.
Yeah.
And then a single player experience at launch outside.
That's
of
right.
Mario
Even
Kart.
with like Metroid Prime Remastered and what they've shown of Prime 4, they just up the resolution to whatever looks good, whatever they can do, and just improve the lighting. And it looked phenomenal, let alone all the textures and all of that stuff on top of it.
That's right. So that really excites me. So we're not just going to get Switch 2 exclusive stuff. There'll be stuff that sounds like it's going to get improved, which is great. So even more hyped for next week as well. But we've got one more game we haven't gone over, Drew. This is Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. So the Tomodachi Life series is back. This is the first brand new entry in over 10 years. You get to create your own Mii characters based on yourself, friends, family, anyone really, and then watch them live their lives on an island out at sea. Get involved with their relationships and experience all the weird and wonderful ways these Mii characters interact. You may even drop into their dreams. This launches in 2026 as well. I've never played these games. I knew of the one on the 3DS. I don't know a lot about it, so this was an interesting one for me. Again, I just like Rhythm Heaven. Like, this is something announced way too early. Surely, I just found this fascinating that this is coming at least 10 to 12 months plus, maybe more months from now.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games as well where they're just like, oh, look, you still got stuff. You can look at these blabbering little Miis next year. Isn't that exciting? Tomodachi Life. I bought it on 3DS and it was a lot of fun. It was so quirky, weird, different.
It looks quirky and weird. Yep.
Yeah, it's very funny. Like, you got all your Miis in different situations, how they interact with one another. It was really great on 3DS, and 3DS was a great platform for it because I don't know about you, Josh, but I had so many Mii's on my 3DS because they were so easy to share. You could like you could go through forums or whatever social media and just like scan a QR codes people put up of the Mii's that they make. So a lot of people like make celebrities and different characters from video games, movies, all of that. So you can like add all of these Mii's to your Mii Plaza on 3DS, and you can have them like just have this massive collection of Mii's. And then when Tamagotchi Life comes out, you can have them all interact with one another, and you can make your own Mii and have that interact with like big historical figures, movie actors, all of this type of thing. It was a lot of fun. Like, you have your friends and Reggie, Fizame, and yourself just in this room. It's like you can make whatever situation you want, and you just sort of watch it play out. Essentially, that's kind of what the game was. So it was cool. It was interesting. It was quirky, and Nintendo's first mobile game was like a Tamagotchi Life game as well, where it did a similar thing, like a bit of a social network that was discontinued a fair while ago now. But it was a cool series. But on Switch, I've got no Mii's at all. Like I haven't made one Mii. There's not an easy way to import creations like there was on 3DS. So the idea of like, hey, look, let's get all these Mii's to interact. I've got no interest whatsoever. I'm not going to make one. Like my when I'm playing online Mario Kart, my little Mii that's walking around in the lobby is just like a generic Mii I just chose when I started up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And while I appreciate the series being quirky and all of that, like I said, I was doing a don't smile challenge for the direct, and when like that big woman came up and started speaking in a deep voice, I was like, "Oh, that
was funny."
don't get it out of me this far into the direct. It was
so close.
Yeah, I'm like, this like it's my sense of humor. It's just like it's just fucking dumb.
I laughed at that. I thought that's cool, and that kind of sold me on it because I don't know what this is about, and it was Mii's, and it's a bit of a social simulation kind of game. But then I saw that, I thought, okay, yeah, this is definitely up my alley. I'm going to enjoy playing this.
Yeah, no, it's extremely quirky and strange. But yeah, I just feel like I'm not going to go and make a bunch of Mii's and have them do what the series is about. I don't know whether it's just going to be pre-made Mii's for the game and it's going to be a completely different experience to what we've experienced on 3DS. But yeah, just from that, I'm not all about it. But there was like my first thought was like, oh, is this an Animal Crossing game? And then it quickly, obviously, it wasn't. But my first thought, so another 3DS game, Miitopia, was remade for Switch. That was a Grezzo made game. They ported that game to Switch, and I'm like, just like obviously I really want a Kid Icarus port to Switch. I'm like, don't tell me Tamagotchi Life had a fucking port before Kid Icarus. Like, don't you fucking don't you do it? But yeah, it's not a port. It's a brand new game.
Yeah. And that was interesting. There was no ports or remakes or anything like that. I was seriously expecting from Nintendo for the Switch a continuation of we've already had 2 this year with Xenoblade Chronicles X and Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, but nothing.
Yeah.
Brand new entries, which obviously is a great thing, but nothing for outside of later this year between Metroid and Pokemon for the Switch. Theoretically, there might be stuff announced still, but just wasn't shown here.
Yeah. So yeah, theoretically, this is the last Nintendo Switch 1 Direct where it's going to be very clear where Nintendo says, "Hey, look, you can play this on your Switch 1 as well for those who haven't upgraded yet," or something like that. But like going forward, starting next week, we'll see a game, and they'll be heavily pushing first-party content on Switch 2, which is exciting and also like a little bit sad in some way, a little bit of a swan song. Just like, oh look, it's done. That was it. And I wonder what the future for Switch 1 will be. Obviously, like we talked about, we've got games into 2026, but like, what does the rest look like? Do we randomly get a social media drop of like, oh, Planet Robobot being ported to Nintendo Switch? Yeah. Like, do we still get that, or is it just very much just Rhythm Heaven and Tamagotchi Life next year? Have fun. Buy a Switch 2 this year, you tight ass son of a bitch. Miyamoto's like, I need my second vacation house, god damn it.
Um, yeah, I think it's fascinating. I really like because in certain ways you could argue we didn't need this direct at all. These
No.
things could have been announced off on Twitter or in separate, like a separate way. Um, I can see why they didn't need to do this in Feb. Now they maybe. I honestly wonder whether they toyed whether they needed this direct, and then they decided to do it and do it just before the Switch 2 one does, because if they do it after, it really makes less sense. Um, so yeah, I think it's been done because there's a few third party publishers, developers still looking to have stuff out, and there's some sizable things outside of Nintendo stuff to keep it going, and also obviously to set things up for like programs they've done that will help with the Switch 2 with the virtual game card and then Nintendo Today, but also to indicate that the Switch one's not dead. There's stuff even coming out next year, which the long length left me a bit baffled. I kind of watched it last night and I was very confused. I'm like, this is so far away. Why are we knowing about this stuff now? But the more I've thought about it and reflected, like I understand the reasoning. I don't think it's one of my least favorite directs though for that reason. Just nothing like I found a lot of the really great directs of late have been involved with, like, there's been shadow drops straight away, NSO updates, stuff's coming out really soon. Nothing like that was the case with Nintendo specific stuff anyway, and so fell a bit flat for me. But I think that's also part of the it's not the main priority for Nintendo going forward. It's the Switch 2. That's next week. That's going to be the big one, and this is just the one that feels in between the cracks of what's to come for the rest of 2025 and then obviously beyond.
Yeah, there's nothing that I can like write down a date. Oh, I'm going to buy that day.
Yeah.
But it did the job of like it put a few things on my radar where I am like, what's that Marvel game called again? Like it put that on my radar where I'm like, oh, that's a
Which
thing.
is, definitely what they do, these directs.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, that's on my radar, and like, Patapon on Switch, that's it. Like, it put a few things just like on top of mind for like at least today, where I'm like, oh yeah, when eventually it comes out or it gets another marketing beat, I'll be, oh yes, I remember that from the Nintendo Direct. I'm familiar with it. I will buy it. But yeah, it's probably like one of my least favorite Nintendo Directs as well, where it's just like, it's fine. It did its job, and we didn't have any expectations where it's only like 24 hours in advance that we found out about it. So
it was like a nice extra surprise in a way. The obvious thoughts that people had was, again, we heard it was the Wind Waker, a Zelda port, and then obviously Metroid Prime 2 and 3, but it just, I was obviously hoping, but then I'm just like, why would they do it now? And they had all of last year to do Prime 2 and 3. I think it's too bad. It's just not happening now. It'll be a GameCube release or something via their NSO Prime 2 Echoes.
It's a ROM download on your Steam Deck. That's what it is.
That's how it works.
If you want, or get out the Wii and play the trilogy. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't
There's
get
other ways.
$200 physical copy off eBay. There you go. That's what it is for you.
Yeah, correct. So, see, that was the direct. It's had its reasons. Little baffled with some things, but filled in the gaps. And I think we're all ready for next week, aren't we, Drew? I'm more excited now because of the stuff that got hinted, like the Switch 2 exclusive edition games. There's the virtual game cards. There's some cool things to come from this, and it makes me more excited.
Those Switch 2 editions are very interesting. Like, is that like a paid upgrade? Is that just a brand new game that you're paying full price for?
I just don't know.
Will we get save data like go across in that case? Like with Tears of the Kingdom, I don't want to replay the whole thing again. I'd like to just jump back into it and pick up the extra content or the better performance and all that. I don't, there's a few questions when it comes to that. I'm looking forward to having answered next week, and don't know. I'm going into next week with high expectations, and I want them to like kick it up a notch from that. That's where I'm sort of going into next week, which is a little bit of a risky place to be, where it is like, all right, I've got high expectations, but it is a brand new platform. ultimately at the end of the day, when I pre-order everything, it will be a lot of money. So it's kind of a good thing to
Yes.
go in with those expectations as well. They sort of need to blow people away from the start with a new platform, because moving from Wii U, everyone's like, "Oh, look, just give me another Nintendo console, please." Look, but
Just hurry
everyone's
up. Yeah.
I think majority of people who aren't on the cutting edge of tech still love their Switch. They can turn on Animal Crossing every day. They can play Mario Kart, Smash Brothers. It's all like the best version those series have ever had. So yeah, they just got to kick it up again from that. So we'll
That's
see how
right.
that goes.
See how it goes. Yeah, and we're in a like a real reality here where we just don't know what's coming still. Like, we've got games announced, no dates. Had Xenoblade Chronicles X last week come out. We have nothing dated now. So this really odd in between, obviously all set up for next week. And it could be anything, and there could be a lot of surprises there. A lot of games shown, a lot of third-party developers coming to the party and showing off what they've made. But we'll have our reactions to that, of course, next week as well as what we've done today. But anything you want to plug, Drew, on your channels or other content you've made?
Yeah, so I put up that Smile You Lose video just reacting to the Nintendo
Yeah,
Direct.
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah, I edited it down so it's 18 minutes, so it's a little bit shorter than like the full Direct.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun to do.
Yeah,
It
nice.
kept me quiet as well, which was good at midnight. So I did that, and I've done like game pickups videos and stuff on the YouTube channel as well. And Josh and I, we did the House of Mario, where the video goes up on my iDruby YouTube channel as well. So yeah, go and check it out if you so wish.
Nice. Very good. My show, Nintendonia, I've just come back from Japan. So part one is already out. So do check that out of me and Michaela just going over our time overseas. A part two will come sometime in the future. I'm not going to do it in the next couple of weeks because it's going to get drowned out with obviously everything that is happening at the moment in the world of Nintendo
right, yeah.
and their Direct. So that will come probably later in April. So keep an eye and an ear out for that.
You'll still have to record it though, otherwise you'll forget.
We all recorded. It's all in the can.
Oh, it is done. Yep.
We did a massive Sunday afternoon of 3.5 hours of recording, I reckon, and had a break in between. So episodes are all ready to go effectively. Just don't want to share too much and get it drowned out with obviously everything going on. I think that'll do it for us, Drew. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. Thank you for everything you guys do to support our channels, our shows. Love to hear your thoughts and feedback on all the episodes we do. Got some really lovely comments on the stuff I've talked about with my Japan trip on the House of Mario, and then obviously on Nintendobania as well. Check out Drew's non-smiling challenge. He's a smiley boy when he really gets excited. So let's see if he can last the 18 minutes. I wouldn't have lasted when the some of Dutchy stuff came up. That would have been game over for me, I reckon. But check out Drew's video.
That was hard. I literally went like when the little frowny little boys started going like the music. I'm like,
oh, here we go. The mouse muscle is twitching. He was ready to do it, I reckon. But thanks again, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
See you guys.